Wait a minute. Let me get some things together. Let me get it sorted out. It's been a rough night, been a rough night, been a rough night, but everything's gonna, Power Monday, baby. Word. And so what up, T. Carrie, right? Or should I say, come on, Carrie. What's good? Crash, all up in the place. Good to always see your face. Unlock it. Yo, let me tell y'all something. I put out a short video earlier. When I tell y'all YouTube ain't messing with me like that, they treated me like I wasn't in the algorithm at all. I ain't never put out a short video that got that least attention, you know? But still I rise and no disguise. Yo, look into my eyes. And so, what we gonna talk about tonight? Getting back with your friend. Now, I ain't talking about nobody that you was in love with. Nope. Tonight, we talking about your best buddy that you might have had a falling out with. Y'all ain't cool like that. You know what I mean? They violate. And I'm under the impression that when you lose a really good friend, a close friend, it can mess you up just as bad as a lover. Possibly even worse. What y'all think about? What y'all think about that? So, when you think about being friends with that person again, it's not always a slam dunk easy decision, because whatever separated y'all might have been serious, very serious. Let me give y'all an example that you can use. Even though, you know, this was a movie, but it was based on a real life experience. How many of y'all remember the movie Coolie High? Yeah. How many of y'all remember the classic movie, the Motown movie, Coolie High? How many? I know I do. Now, you know, in that movie, Coach Easton and Preach were the best of friends, man. Think about Chicago in the 60s. Shout out to the Chi. Shout out to the Chi. The Rack. Shout out to Chirac, baby. Now we all know how Coolie High ended, right? And for those of y'all who never saw Coolie High, I'm not even going to ruin the ending for y'all. You ain't got no business. If you a black person and you ain't never see Coolie High, look, I don't care what age you are. That's a classic black movie and a very well thought out, very well produced, and actually a very well acted movie. Aretha Franklin was in that movie. Shout out. Shout out to Aretha Franklin. Yes. Well, so you know, Preaching and Coach East was thick as thieves. But near the end of the movie, Preach found out that Cochise was messing around with his girl. And so Preach was mad, man. Justifiably so. Preach was mad, and he wasn't messing around with Cochise no more. Now, you know, in my mind movies, in my mental movies, Preach and Cochise repaired their friendship, got back together, and was good from then on. But y'all know in reality, Cochise wound up getting killed. So they never had a chance to repair that friendship. But in my mind movies, in my mental movies, they did. So what would it have taken for them to repair their friendship had Cochise lived? Would he ever have been able to trust Cochise to the level that he once trusted him? It's that kind of situation that we're talking about tonight. Where, you know, when you feel like your good friend, your best friend, somebody that you were so close to, has backdoored you, stabbed you in the back, has done you dirty, the decision to repair that friendship and try to get things back the way they used to be is not an easy thing. So we gotta talk about it tonight. Have you ever been in a situation like that? Maybe nobody tried to take your man or your woman, but they put you in a situation where you couldn't trust them anywhere near the level that you had trusted them once before. So lovers go through that, and so do friends. How many of us have them? We're gonna find out tonight. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Go. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this daily. It's the daily go-getter-mism show. You think it ain't when it is. You think it won't when it is. We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about getting back with your friend tonight. I said everything is gonna turn out good. I said we talking about making sure you and your friend good. Everything is gonna turn out fine. Yo, he's not nobody's best friend but mine. I said everything is gonna work out the way it's supposed to. Yeah, cause that's how we do. But the decision to get back with my homie is not an easy one because I found out he was kind of phony. So I had to break down. I had to make a rounds. Had to say, damn, really thought my homie was down. He wasn't down. Actually, he put me down. I heard that he was talking a whole lot of shit and I believe it because I know how he is with other motherfuckers, but I never thought he would try to go out just like a sucker and treat me like I was something like melted butter. Yo, he made me so mad I started to stutter. Like, I can't believe it, nigga. I never thought I figured that you would like to take that route. He made me so damn mad. I was ready to take the motherfucking yeah, what? All right, so what we got? What we got? Wait a minute. I just had my. Oh, okay. I ain't reading that bullshit. Okay. Ugg boy. What up, Ugg boy? Hollywood Ave or Hollywood Have. What's up? Pittymon? Pittymon? Pittymon. Is that you, Carriezilla? Is that you? And Captain Slow says, someone get this bro a record deal. Y'all funny, man. But listen, we're talking about getting back with your friend, man. Getting back with your friend. You know what I thought about this? When I thought about this topic, I thought like, you know, a lot of people have been in this situation. A lot of people have been in this situation where they had to really decide whether they wanted to get back with a friend of theirs that they were really close to. You know, losing a friend is not an easy thing because you might not share everything with your lover. You might not share everything with your spouse. I know that you're supposed to, but you may not. Some people get married to people without the level of comfortability to whereas they feel like they can express everything and all of their deepest, darkest feelings, secrets, and thoughts with them. But with their friends, they do. With their friends, they do. Because what does it take to become friends with somebody? You normally have to have some things in common. You normally have to have some thought processes aligned with each other. You normally have to believe in the same things. You normally have some type of shared interest and things like that. You know what I mean? You may tell your friend all of the exploits that you've had, sexual, even criminal. You may trust your friend on that level because you feel like y'all have reached that level. With your lovers, you may not always feel that way. You should. With your spouse, you may not always feel that way. You should. But it goes the way it goes, and there's no accounting for a good friend. Now, I'm talking about real friendship. For all of y'all who don't know what real friendship is, well, God help you and God bless you. But I'm talking about the ones who do know. You know? I'm talking about the ones that you have known and been down with for mad years. Mad years, baby. You know, I'm not talking about, you know, the new guy the new temp that started working at your job that seems so cool or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about when you got skin in the game, when you have time in. People who know you. People who you know. No. I'm going to get this hardware out of the way, and we're going to start this conversation or keep this conversation going the way we know that it should. But yeah, when you talk about getting back with a friend, it's not always... See, the fact that you have to get back with a friend in the first place often lets you know where you are with a situation. The fact that you stopped the friendship, lost the friendship, ceased a friendship, paused the friendship, reconfigured, retooled, had to restart a friendship, that lets you know that something happened that you may not even want to share with everybody. Because the person that you're sharing it about was the person you used to share everything else about. And it ain't easy to just transfer that trust that you had with your friend in the hands of somebody else. Now, I've seen people, you know, end friendships on dumb shit. But hey, if the foundation of your friendship was on some dumb shit in the first place, then I would imagine that breaking up with them over some dumb shit probably is in alignment with how y'all were, and you probably, you feel some kind of way about it. You feel some kind of way about it. So let's talk about it, y'all. Let's talk about it. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I saw a bunch of people in here a few minutes ago. You know what I mean? They all scattered. I think YouTube was like, here, let me throw you like 30, 40 people. All right, everybody leave. Don't matter. Don't matter. Y'all know y'all the foundation. Everything good. Come on, Carrie says, losing a friend can be worse because they know your deepest, darkest secrets. I mean, the fact that now you know that your deepest, darkest secrets are no longer safe. The only reason they know your deepest, darkest secrets is because you deem them to be trustworthy enough for you to share that. Now you find out, like, well, I don't want to jump the gun, but that could have been the reason why you stopped being friends with them in the first place, because maybe they shared your secrets. They told everything that, you held close to your heart. The cards that you held close to your vest, you shared with them. And, you're like, damn, man, the stuff that I told you could end my marriage, or they could have me locked up. They could get me in trouble with the law. But let's say it's not a situation where they told, or where they snitched, or where they squealed, or where they ratted, or anything. It may not have been anything like that. It could have been that they did something that just violated you to your core. All of y'all core beliefs somehow. Hold on. Hold the fuck up. I'm looking real murky and milky on my screen. We gotta fix that. There you go. We was not in HD. We were not in HD a second ago. Hi, hater. What's good, y'all? Everything that's better. That's better. I'm looking on the monitor like, you looking, your background looking sick. And I don't mean that in a good way. Your background looking like it got a cough. You know what I mean? Got the Mucinex boogie monster. You know what I'm talking about. What up, Feline what's that? Feline Gammon? Feline Gaming. What's with the rocks? Well, they aren't rocks, they're bones. These are cow bones. Cow bone necklaces. You can see them up close. You know what I'm saying? Got the cow bones. The cow bones, baby. I call these struggle beads. We can get into the story about that later. We can talk about that later. Peyton, what up, Peyton? Captain Show says more drums. You really feeling that, dog? People. I mainly play the drums for myself. Don't nobody be feeling that shit. I mean, if you feeling it, I appreciate that. I really do. You know what I mean? It's just something I like to do. So, it is what it is. Platinum Player says his background got a backstory. Yeah, it did. You know what I mean? The background was on some, you mean my son? My son? All right, we good. But yeah, your good friend, your best friend, your ace boon coon, your BFF, they could have done something to you. Well, they could have done something that affected you so bad that it might have made you question why you were friends with that person ever before. You know what I mean? And on top of whatever you shared with them. Because when it becomes a trust issue, when it comes to your friends, I don't know, emotionally, it can get to you so bad because, you get to thinking like, yo, just like when you break up with your man or break up with your woman and you be thinking like, yo, sometimes you might think like, did they ever really care about me? Did they ever really love me? Was there just an ulterior motive of why we were together? Were they just out to get whatever they could get? Or was it a conquest? Was it just, was I just a pit stop? All kinds of things can come in your mind when you break up with a lover. And you would think that these things don't enter your mind when it comes to your friend. But then again, you might get the question, what was the real origin of our friendship? Were we ever really friends? Were we? Or was, like, maybe you didn't have a car, so I was the driver. Maybe you didn't have no money, so I was the payer. Maybe you ain't had nowhere to stay, so I was the landlord. Maybe you didn't have no good sense, so I was the brains. It can happen, and these can be some of the things that might make you question whether you were really friends with somebody, or whether they were ever really friends with you, and whether you should rekindle that friendship. Now, when I say getting back with your friend, I'm talking about mainly when you have been separated from a friend for a long time, baby. I'm talking years or whatever. Because as years go by, you start to do a little revisionist history. You start to own your own part in the whole equation. Maybe before you totally blame them, or if you've ever ended a friendship over confusion, like you don't really know how somebody was feeling or whatever, but maybe cooler heads didn't prevail, and y'all were both stubborn, so y'all just left it the way it was. That happens too. You funny as shit. This motherfucker said, your mustache look like two evil parentheses. Oh, guys, we got some real comedians here. Captain Slow says, Dano, bro, I'm pretty baked and vibing, so I like the drums. That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, my dude. But yeah, so, this whole friendship thing can really take you for a ride. Now, who hasn't had a best friend in their lives? Who has never had a best friend? Now, you may have had different best friends at different points of your life, or you may have had a consistent best friend for all of your life. Like, y'all go all the way back to the sandbox, all the way back to preschool, all the way back to the damn near the cradle. Some friendships span that long. And then some friendships is like, let's say you're the type of person who comes from a family where they moved around a little bit more than you might have liked. So, you may have had a best friend when you were in elementary school, and maybe y'all moved away and, you had to get a new best friend. Not that anything was wrong with the old best friend, but you know how it is when you're young and you're smaller, and, you may not. Well, I'm 55, so we only had the regular phone, the regular home phone back when I was coming up. We didn't have all this cell phone stuff. We didn't have social media. We didn't have a lot of the tools that they have today to be able to stay in touch with each other. We didn't have email and shit like that. We didn't have that. So, we had to work with what we worked with, and we worked with what we worked with. So, you may have had to get a new best friend in middle school. Maybe a new, you separate from middle school, you'll go to different high schools and things like that. If you live in a big city where, everybody didn't go to the neighborhood high school, you may have gone to a high school of your choosing. Anyway, you may have had different best friends for different times in your life. So when you haven't seen your old best friend in a long time, you may try to put the band back together, because of some kind of circumstance, and you may find out that it might not work the way it used to. For your sake, I hope that it does, but it might not. And you have to prepare yourself for that kind of stuff. So let me go ahead. I'm not going to stand up for this whole ride. Let me go ahead and take my seat. And let's get into it. Get involved. These puzzle pieces right now, we gonna solve, y'all. So what the deal is, getting back with your friend. Getting back with your friend. First of all, I mean, have any of y'all been through this? Have any of you been through this where, you literally had to, put a friendship back together? Maybe it suffered a really bad hit. I have been through it. Have any of y'all been through that? Because it can change the way you feel about so much. It really can. It can change the way you feel about so much. So, put a lot of hot sauce in here. This thing's spicy. It's good, but it definitely has that a lot of garlic too. So have any of y'all been through this? Have any of y'all been through a situation where you had to try to restart a friendship that was previously flourishing? Put together back a friend relationship that once had a strong backbone. I mean, I'm talking about when you were really friends with somebody. I'm not talking about people that you just know and, people who you know and people who know you, but y'all not really close like that. Y'all just consider each other to be friends. But then there's no real friendship commitment. You don't necessarily have their back and they don't have yours. I'm talking about the ones that you claim, the ones you used to call your cousin, because being friends just didn't define how close a relationship and how strongly y'all felt about each other. The one that you said was my brother or sister, of course. You know what I mean? That one where if you saw one person, then you saw the other person. Thick as thieves, always together. You see one, you see the other one. Or either that, or the other one will be around pretty soon. They ain't never too far away. When you lose a friend like that, the kind of friendship where when people don't see you with that person anymore for any extended part of time or whatever, they ask you, what happened to you? Where's your man? Where's your girl? Where's your, where's your buddy? Where's your other half? Where's your, you know what I mean? And if you've had a bad falling out with somebody, you're going to treat them like, you might not even really want to talk about it, but you realize that people are always going to ask you about that person because they used to see you with that person all the time. You ever been so close with somebody, like a friend of yours, that y'all had your own language? Have you ever been so close with a friend of yours that y'all had your own language? Like y'all could speak to each other. It might have been a funny thing, like, yo, this is our little language, so when I say this, he knows what I'm talking about, she knows what I'm talking about, whatever. Y'all be laughing at shit, inside jokes, shit like that. If you've ever had a friend like that, you know what I'm talking about. Like you say certain things and only they know what you're talking about. So y'all laughing and joking and shit that other people can't understand because they don't have that, they on the outside. All of y'all inner workings are should I say the inner workings of your relationship are all internal. It ain't for everybody to see. Like y'all got your own shit. See, losing a friend like that, where y'all have that kind of thing going on, that's going to be hard, man. That's going to be very, very hard. It's going to be very taxing on your emotional state, on your heart, your feelings in an uproar. Feelings in an uproar. What y'all know about it? What do y'all know about it? Y'all quiet tonight. Quiet tonight. All right, well, this is what I'm going to do. If y'all going to be quiet tonight, I'm going to do this show for an hour, and this is going to be like, I had a long day anyway. For real. I had a long day anyway. You know what I'm saying? We can end this. But I'll say this. I lost my best friend last year. He passed away last year. My man Earth, my man Lawrence, and we were friends since I met him in 1989, and we got close like brothers in 1991. So him passing in 2024, we are talking about 33 years. 33 years of strong friendship. But there are times when we had problems. There are times when it was some serious shit that happened one time, and it fractured our relationship to the point where I didn't feel like I could trust him like I used to trust him. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, getting back cool, because it wasn't based on a misunderstanding. Some things happen and they just happen the way they happen, and, had to swallow that pill. And it was a hard pill to swallow. When you get put in a situation where you question the friendship motives of the person that's supposed to be your man's, it's not easy. That's a tough situation to be in. And so because I was there in that situation, and I literally had to make the decision about whether I wanted to do this again. You understand what I'm saying? Like, is it worth it to be friends like that? Now, looking back on it, now my dude is dead, and when somebody is in their seriously darkest hour in their time of need, or when you feel them slipping away, a lot of the anger that you may have had may have subsided, because that ain't important anymore. You start remembering not just the good times, but you start remembering what's really important in life. Like, it's almost like your real, authentic things in life are posted up there on the Summer Jam screen. Like, none of that other bullshit matters. The goal now is to try to, help my people stay alive as long as possible, and pretty much savor the flavor. Because if you can't save them, if you can't extend that, then you might decide that you have to do the best with your time as you can, because the time might be short and you may not have time to enjoy it. So Yeah, when you know, all right, it's easy to be mad at somebody that you feel violated you in whatever way. But when you get into a situation where you know somebody that you cared about isn't going to be around anymore, like I said, the things in life that are of the utmost importance start to really, really become crystal clear to you. You start to see like, oh, yeah, well, you know what? How about fuck all that bullshit that I was mad about? Because how about that shit don't matter at all right now? It don't. While people are alive and well and healthy, all the petty shit matters. The disrespect matters. The disregard matters. The inconsistency matters. The inconsideration matters. But just like you can miss a lover, you can miss a friend. There are times when you might even miss a friend more. Of course, not on no sexual shit or whatever, but you might miss a friend more because your friend might have more skin in the game. They may have been around longer. You know, good friends are not easy to find. They're not. We can laugh about it, joke about it, poke fun at it, but a good friend is not something that's easy to find because, you know, you kind of have to, you know, in order to be good friends with somebody, you have to sacrifice a part of yourself. Because to get a friend, you have to be a friend. And if you don't know how to be a friend, somebody will be right there willing to teach you, or at the very least, show you what you're doing wrong. Do you feel me? Do you understand? Do you? Do you? So I understand people who've never gone through this kind of stuff, but yeah, I'm saying all of this to say that it's definitely not easy to lose a good friend. So as time passes and you're thinking about being friends with somebody, again, it may not be the easiest decision to make for you because you may still be upset or harbor resentment about whatever happened in that friendship. Harboring resentment. Let me ask y'all this. Hold on, T. Carey Wright says, losing a friend feels like losing a family member. Facts. And he's like, and Carey says, it's like they died. Yeah, mourning. Yeah, that's tough. It really is. It really is. And, you know, like I said, when you lost a friend that's alive and well and all of that, a lot of pettiness and a lot of pride and ego and all of that, there's a good breeding ground for all of that. But when you know that your brother or your sister is hurt or in trouble or is dying, you might be willing to put any and all disagreements and and heartbreak and misunderstandings and violations, you may just be ready to toss all of that to the side and decide that they have no place in your heart. You may make that decision, and it is your decision to make. But I want to ask y'all, how hard is it? How hard is it to become friends again with somebody that you have lost favor with or that you're not friends with anymore? How hard is it? I want to know from y'all perspective if you've ever done it. Now, keep in mind that you can answer this question in a variety of ways because it doesn't necessarily have to be your best friend that you separated from. It can be a friend. It can just be a regular friend. Like, I thought we was friends. I thought we was cool. You tried to play me for a fool. Carrie says, I can't do it. I understand. I do. And I hate the fact that I do understand, but I actually and honestly do. And she says, once I stop being your friend, it's a done deal. Okay. So I guess that's saying that you better value my friendship while it's hot. And I understand that because when you are really a good friend, when you put feelings inside, when you're helpful, when you are giving, excuse me. You know, brothers and sisters help each other out. And you know what else they do? They grow together. They grow up together. So you can grow up with a friend, literally, to the point where it feels like you're really their brother or their sister. I've seen friendships so strong that, you know, people were jealous of their friendship. I would gamble that y'all have seen things like that too. My man Troy McNeil is in the house, says, I've been trying to call in, but something's wrong. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Let me see what might be wrong. You know what I mean? Let me see. Let me try to call you. And if I can't call you, then I know exactly what's wrong. And I can fix that in a hop, skip, and a jump. Hold on. Hold on. We are initializing the last piece of your phone. Oh, I know what they did. Let me find out. Yeah, I can fix this. Fucking bastards. I can fix this. Hold on a second, motherfucker. Motherfucker. I ain't mad at them though. They want their money and I was stalling them out. But damn. They like, I told you I wasn't playing with you. All right. Where's your email? Damn, where's the damn email? I wonder if I could just pay it on the app. Okay, let me see. Give me just a second. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely that's definitely what it is. It's like, oh, you want to play? You want to play? All right. Um. Do 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 do. Okay. All right. I wonder. Mm, okay. I ain't bang out all day. Mm. Oh boy. Okay, there we go. All right. No, it's okay. So okay. Let's see how fast they can do this, or if they can do it fast at all. Okay. We'll turn my phone back on. Turn it back on. Let me see. Ain't no way it would be that instant, but I'll try anyway. It ain't. But if it comes on anytime soon, wait a minute, let me refresh. Let me refresh. Okay. They fixed that shit fast as shit.
Hola, papi.
They fixed that shit instantly.
Give me my money.
You know what I mean? We can fix it for you. We got you.
Hey, see, I want mine. Get mine and get naked.
You know what I mean? Update that payment information, bitch.
Should be said, concrete jungle, wet dream, tomato.
Yeah, you bugging. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man.
Okay.
Nothing much. What's up? What's up? The queen of the live stream, T. Carrie, right?
You mean come on, Carrie?
Hey, there we go.
Come on, Carrie. Come on.
Come on, Carrie.
And my Ed OG in the bulldog voice. Damn.
This is the life of a live streamer.
They was my shit. So we talking about, getting back with a friend. You know what I mean? So I'm, like I was saying on the show, the way I feel about it is like trying to get back with a friend or, rekindling a friendship, or trying to put your past differences aside or whatever. I'm thinking that takes the same level of, sort of like the same level of trust it, might apply in order to get back with a lover. But the thing is, people who break up with marriages and girlfriends and boyfriends and loves and relationships and all, a lot of times they get back together without the trust.
Yeah.
But would you put up with that with a friend? Like, what's a friendship without trust? Is that even really a friendship?
Right.
Now, the crazy part is you can have a romantic relationship without trust. People do it all the time, which is weird, but they do. But a lot of people wouldn't put up with that shit when it comes to a friendship. And, people act like they don't really need friends like that. And they normally act like they don't need friends like that when they have a lover. And their lover is often they best friend. So, man, it's a slippery slope, man. It's hard.
I mean, and it makes it even worse when your best friend is your brother.
Exactly. So
that makes it even worse when you have a falling out with your brother and your brother don't even know how to be a friend or a brother. You think he knows how to be, you think he knows how to be a brother because he's your blood, but he can't either be either or. He don't know how to accept accountability. And that's sometimes our friendship. Your friend. When I look at people as friends, I look at you as family. I hate to call you my friend because we that tight. Like me and you didn't talk for a while because I didn't even have your number. We didn't even have a falling out. So we was able to jump right back into our bond. You know what I mean?
But when you think about that, we didn't have a falling out, so the separation didn't make no sense.
Right, it didn't.
So with that being said, there still had to be some thought about, like, you know what I mean? You racking your brain like, what did something happen? Did anything happen? You know what I mean? Because we was rolling hard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
At no point did I think that. Because, I mean, like I said, sometimes things happen for a reason. I've been going through my situation, and it just so happened I go on YouTube and Bam. So 752.
But that's what I'm saying. You know, like there are a lot of different things that can separate friends. But but once, just like anything else, once you learn to live without that thing, you know, starting it back up might not be the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
Not all the time. So it still requires thought. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, especially if you were involved in a situation where, let's say you had a friend that cost you more money than they ever saved for you. You know, that might have been the kind of friend that, you know, was borrowing money all the time, or had you plan being the wingman all the time, or, you know, you was his excuse or her excuse all the time. You know what I mean? And you know, you can get fatigue over that shit. Like, oh gosh, no. Like they still cool, but damn, they still on that bullshit.
I had a friend I had a falling out with because every time he would do dirt on his wife, he would call me as the cover man, and I didn't like that.
Exactly.
I didn't like that at all. You know, don't do that, man. Don't put me, and you know, especially if my wife is friends with your wife.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You can't do that, man, because now that puts me in a bind with mine.
And he might not understand or respect that.
So has he ever covered up for you?
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, you seen the predicament I went through when when I got your car. You had a friend in the car. You went to drop me off. You had to sign for that shit.
Man, that shit, boy.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do.
See, so, I mean, it's just, you know, like, this boy was so tight with me, man, that this was like a god brother to me. This was like a little brother to me. But every time we would go out, you know what I mean, it would be like he would have this fuck your type. You know, if I talk to him about things I'm going through, he would have that let's just go out and do what the fuck we want to do attitude. And you can't do that when your boy is married. And then when he got married, he still had that I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do attitude. And when you running a go-go bar while you married, don't make it any better.
Probably not. You know what I mean?
You know, and you can't put me in that type of environment and thinking that's conducive with me being married. Because if my significant other don't like that type of environment for me, and won't respect, and I gotta have an understanding of her feelings. It's vice versa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you can't respect that, then I gotta fall back from you. So I mean, and that's the fucked up part. People don't understand that. People sit back and they make a decision based on what's best for them, and they put you in what's best for them and also for you. You can't do that, bro.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Yo, don't get me roll home. No, we gonna go. No, bro. I'm going home, man. God damn, I'm going home. No, I gotta go past the go-go bar. Well, no, I'll sit in the car, man. I'm cool, bro. Hurry up, man. I just gotta get to the crib, man. If that's the case, I'll just catch your Uber home. But then when I catch your Uber home, then I gotta hear, well, why he didn't drop you off?
So,
stop creating. When you create bullshit for me, then I gotta tell you the bullshit you created, and then you go on the defense, and you can't go on the defense when you create bullshit for your boy. You can't.
See, in order to, I don't see how you can call yourself somebody's friend and not respect their situation. You know, like if somebody doesn't respect what you have going on at home, or, you know, basically your situation, if they have an idea of what you might have to say or what you might have to do in order to, you know, keep your situation stabilized, and all they really worried about is themselves. That's the kind of thing that can make you wonder if somebody really is your friend, number one. And since you know that something like that could easily separate y'all, you might have to make the decision about whether it's worth it to be their friend.
Well, definitely. I mean, I literally had to make that decision. You know what I mean? And it made it even worse because, you know, then around that time, my mom had passed away.
Yeah.
And when I called and I told you that, you didn't show up for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You didn't show up for me. And I'm like, no, I can't really fuck with people like that. And then you got the friends that, you know, your mom passed away, their mom passed away. You made your business to make it to her funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Or you make it in the midst of that, you still call and check up on them. But they can't even call and just say, yo, you good? You cool? You breathing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not the tit for tat thing. It's more of where do we stand in this brotherhood? You know what I mean? Because when you friends with your brother, with another man, there's a brotherhood. You know what I mean? You know, it's somewhat of if y'all friends without relationships, shit's somewhat damn near like a fraternity. But if you friends and you in a relationship, it's a brotherhood.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Big difference. The brotherhood knows how to conduct business, how to respect one another, how to look out for one another. If that one's down, you know, let's go get something to grub on. Let's have a conversation. Or let's bust it up on the phone, see if you can help me or I can help you.
Yeah.
You know, a fraternity, when you're in a relationship, you can walk around and act like a Q dog, a fucking Kappa with a cane, an AKA with some black and gold boots. You can do anything.
That's
Marine and be out talking about hoorah.
Black and gold is A5A, not AKA.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. No, you know that. All right.
I'm saying I don't want you getting rolled on by a bunch of nerds. You know what I mean? You know.
You stupid.
That's the last thing I want for you.
Hey, don't make that. There's a bunch of nerds. It might be a good thing. I get checked. For real, but I mean, it's people don't understand that. Like, I mean, I gotta speak up on it. I got my brother, my middle brother, you know, and I don't look at him as just my brother. I called him. There's times I got on the phone, like if I speak highly of you, and I tell you how deep how you mean to me as my brother, like you was like a father figure to me, and it's to the point like, well, your clause is that you're a pastor, and before I allow somebody to hurt you or disrespect your clause, I'll disrespect my clause, my walk. I'll be the sinful one and talk to people the way they need to be talked to, rather than you talk to people the way they need to be talked to. Because I don't want you to hurt your walk. Your walk is your walk. But in the way that I'm doing that, the least you can do is when I talk to you on the phone, and you know what I'm going through, you can give me a prayer. They don't charge that ain't money. That's what you do for a living.
So what would it take?
Or I gotta pay tithes?
So with your brother being your actual brother, you know, what would it take for y'all to
for me to talk? Well, it took me last week. I just had this breakdown, man. When it was just time for me to let everybody know how the fuck I felt. So he called me on the phone, and you know, like I said, I just said, let me just block him and see if he calls. You know, and he called, and I said, after I said what I said in the, because I had left a group chat message to family members, which is my kids, right? And everything, right? And then I turned back around, I called him, I was like, yo, I don't get you. You know, the last time I spoke to you is when you sent me an obituary of a woman that we grew up with that was like family. After that, I ain't talked to you all week. I said, the reason why you don't talk to me is because you think that I want to ask you for money. I know you. See, when you know a person, you understand how the person is. And when you know that if you walk around with that philosophy of am I my brother's keeper, and you walking around with your walk, and you walking around saying that you're a pastor, and you can go to hospice, you can go to the hospital and pray over people. You can go to the sick and shut in and bring food. You can do all that. But when your brother is on the phone and he's bawling and he's hurting, and the only people we got amongst each other within our family is us. You might talk to our sister, you might talk to our oldest niece, but as tightest bond male wise is me and you. So when you drop the ball on that shit, you have to accept that and say, you know what, I'm wrong. You can't walk around with the philosophy of love is action. Because if you're not giving off action, then you're not giving off love. Love to me is a word. Love to me, when you tell me you love me, that affects me dearly because love carries a lot more emotion. When I went to a funeral today, right, and I was talking to some of my boys that I grew up with, and even my boys, like I said, my family that I went to the funeral with, went to the funeral for, it's not my blood family. But these are, like I said, I look at my brothers as my brothers. And what I said to them is that stop walking around and restraining yourself from giving your brothers your flowers. Their flowers while they're here. Because now we're here giving our brother his flowers and he's gone. You cannot do that. Don't walk around and sit back because you don't want nobody questioning your manhood and not tell your brother you love him.
Yeah.
Because you feel as though action should speak for itself. No, that word carries a lot of weight. Just like it carries a lot of weight in your relationship with your kids and with your wife or with your girlfriend or your boyfriend or any family member. Just because you gave me $1,000 don't mean that you love me. It just means that you gave me $1,000. That's all it means. You can love them. You give when you walk up and you give home when you donate millions of dollars to the homeless. That don't mean you love them. You care about their well-being. You care about people's well-being. So I mean, people don't understand how to walk with the walk of.
But hold on. See, the thing is, we could talk about people violating all day, but what does it take? What would it take for you to revisit that situation and try to get it back the way it was, or
humbleness? That person has to take accountability and understand. You cannot sit back and not understand why the person feels the way he feels. And if it was the first time, yeah, but it's numerous times that person felt that way.
Well, what I'm saying is, have you been in a situation where you had to become friends with somebody again and you really had to think about whether it was worth doing it?
Yes. My brother. That's my friend. My brother, that's one. My cousin, that's another, and I still haven't reconciled with him because I don't know. When I call him, I bust it up and we go right back to who he was. But if you don't make the phone call to me, period, I can't keep going out my way being me and caring, and you just walk on through your life like I got a life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, I got a life too, but I'm willing to. I can sacrifice time and energy to bust it up with you on the phone. But you can't sacrifice your time and energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's the thing that's bothersome to me. You know, that's the thing that's bothersome to me, and it don't take much. You know, even the word sorry is, or I understand where you're coming from. Let's just work on. I'm sorry for making you feel that way. That takes a lot. That takes me to a whole different level. Yo, let's get back. All right, let's get the team back together.
Okay.
So sorry, my grandfather always told me, Troy, if a man apologizes to you, accept it because it takes a lot of man apart. It takes a lot out of a man to be apologetic.
Do you think you could get back with a girlfriend even though she violated your trust? Do you think you could get back with a woman that you didn't really trust?
I think that I can get back to with a woman that I don't really trust because I think that if I'm getting back with her, that person has to have an understanding that it has to be if either we can work this out or we can't work it out. This is it. This is the last chance. You know what I mean? If we didn't have a falling out, and the messed up part about that part is 9 times out of 10, that's another thing going back to what I was just talking about. That there has to be some accountability on the person's behalf.
Yeah.
You cannot always point the finger at the person that you think is doing something wrong when you're doing something wrong. You thinking it, but you're doing it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because if you're allowing your insecurities to create, to bring forth, if you allow your disagreement to bring your insecurities to bring forth inner thoughts in your head that your significant other is doing something wrong, then that's not him doing something wrong. That's your insecurities. So how can we get back together and fix that if you're not willing to change your insecurities?
Well, see,
you're not willing to listen.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying because, it's not easy. Like people don't always think about this. Like when you lose a friend and you're thinking about whether you should, be friends with somebody again. Sometimes you might really have to haggle with your own feelings to make that decision of doing that because some friendships can be very draining, very emotionally draining to you. I mean, really, just like being in a relationship with somebody can be very emotionally draining to you. And you don't expect that from a friend because, y'all not supposed to be on that kind of level. But y'all are, if you are dealing with somebody who's messy, somebody who sucks up all the air in the room, somebody who's like that, and their day-to-day living, it's going to start to wear on you. So when they do some fuck shit and y'all not friends no more, time can pass and you might decide, like, let me call them, see how they doing or whatever. But I'm just trying to figure out what would compel a person to go ahead and basically repair things with their ex-friend. Like what's the motor that'll make those wheels turn? Because it's not always an easy decision.
Yeah,
it's not.
Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question because I know you're gonna give me the most honest opinion. Do you think it's easier to repair a relationship with a friend, or rekindle a relationship with a friend, or rekindle a relationship with an ex?
Well, that's what the show was based on tonight. And I asked that question in the that exact same question you asked. I asked it in the chat. Do you think that the same trust is needed to repair a friendship as a love relationship? Because I don't think that, like, now, any woman that I deal with, I do have to be able to trust her. But there are parameters of that trust. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have expectations. But when it comes to a friend, I don't want no part of no friend that I can't trust. Like, that might be the very reason that I'm friends with you, because I can trust you. Who would want a friend that they knew that they couldn't trust? So y'all never gonna ride together. You know what I mean? So I think it's hard to compare the two as far as importance is concerned, but I will say this. Plenty of people don't trust their spouses or their girlfriends or boyfriends. Plenty don't. Of course, there are plenty who do, but there are plenty who don't. But we know from marriages that we have witnessed growing up and all of that there are plenty of functional marriages, whether they consider themselves to be happy or not, but they are functional marriages where they don't trust each other. They know exactly what each other are capable of doing, and trust that they will always do the wrong thing instead of the right thing. So I'm going to say that it's harder to deal with a friendship where there's no trust. For me, it is. All right.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to see how could I mean, both of them are difficult, you know, but the difference between both of them is that there's an intimacy involved in the relationship you're in, and there's no intimacy involved in that relationship that you are with that individual, which is your male counterpart, your brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when you sit back, you try your best to take out the intimacy part, you know, the sexual part. You know, you have to take that out, then reassess it. Because sometimes that can cloud your judgment. You know what I mean? You know, like if I go out with son, I know that if something go down, son got my back. And I know if something go down, son know I got his back. Shit, we done the comedy show across the street at Ridge Avenue at the comedy room. Went across the street to the bar, got drinks.
Right.
Didn't give a fuck if anything went down. It's going down. This is how it's going to go. They look at us. We look at them. We go outside. Whatever happens, happens. Channel 6 News be there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We went out of town. We went to Delaware. Whatever happens, happens. Baltimore. Whatever happens, happens. Shit. Just down at the Laugh House. Whatever goes down, goes down.
That's what I'm saying. It's hard to deal with a friend that you can't trust because you don't.
And you know, parts of that is, you know, because that friend, that's what I mean by, is to me, when I call you my friend, I call you my brother because I have to be able to trust you like my brother.
Yeah, I understand. You know what I mean? I do.
You have to be able to trust your yeah, bro.
Yeah, I just know what it's like for friends not to be able to trust each other and still try to keep things together with that situation. Like I wouldn't want no part of that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
What would be a non-trustful thing for you when you dealing with another man in a friendship?
Set me up. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I've seen people that was cool with each other, especially, you know, cats in the drug game and all that, set them up to get robbed. You know what I'm saying?
Or get off. Yeah.
Yeah. Or get off.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so it's easy to look at those relationships and say, well, that was never your real friend. but you would have to be there to judge that. You know what I mean? Because you're going off of what your heart feels.
This is the one. He come to the house knowing you ain't home. See your missus, and then sit back and say, "No, you do know he wasn't with me last night. I just wanted to let you know that."
It's some OJ shit.
No, he wasn't with me. I don't like the shit he be doing behind your back, girl. You're a good woman, and this.
Yeah, I mean this kind of bullshit happens though.
It does.
And
and when you overstep your boundary on that, that's almost grounds to fisticuffs.
More than that.
Yeah. Shit. That's what some Snoop Dogg murder was the case.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, that's nothing to play around with. I say, yeah, that's nothing to play around with. That's serious business. So I don't see how people can't take friendship seriously. Because, you know, when you cool with somebody as a friend, you might put yourself in a whole lot of positions for them to do you in. And even if y'all didn't break up on some distrust shit, that doesn't necessarily automatically claim that you can trust them. So trust is essential in a friendship. Essential. In a relationship, a romantic relationship, there are plenty of couples who don't really trust each other. But in a friendship, you gotta have it. You gotta have it. At least I think so. Listen, man, we're not gonna run long tonight because I feel like I need the toothpicks under my eyelids.
Well, you see, the boy said he said the boy Bryce said you look a little tired, but my guy.
Man, it is what it is. It's been a little rough. You know what I mean? Them Sunday nights be crazy.
Well, it ain't even that, man. You had a 4-day break, and the body got to readjust itself back to getting back to work.
It's Sunday. It's that Sunday shit. You know what I mean? It's that Sunday shit. Recovery is a bitch. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do these birthday shots. Hold on. Let's do the poll question first. The poll question was, do you think that the same trust is needed to repair a friendship as a love relationship? And 71% said yes, maybe even more trust. Damn. 12% says no, we're just friends, no big deal. Another 12% says friendship separations are harder. And 6% said friend breaks can't compare to love breaks. Mm-hmm. Heavy.
Which one you think? What you think?
I would say I'm going with yes, maybe even more than trust. I mean, even more trust is needed, and for friendship. I think so. Shit, you know, even though a lot of men push the envelope, there are a lot of men that really don't want to know everything about their woman. Mm-hmm. You know, they can't handle it.
You know, I know you ready to go, but I just want to say this on that part. One thing about us being men, when you suspect something, you go hunting. My suggestion is that you don't go hunting. Because one thing, the old saying goes, was in the dark will come to light.
Right. You know, because if it's that serious,
hunting, you always got to ask yourself, what's your end game now?
Yep.
What you going to do when you find it out?
Yep. You know? Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to hunt for shit that's going to hurt my heart. I'd rather see it with my eyes than to go hunting. If I got to go hunting, then that's when my insecurities kick in. And that person might not be doing a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm being insecure about something that person might not be doing. But if I find out and it kicks me in the fucking ass once I see it, you know, if it's meant for me to know, I'm going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
But then, if I'm like I said, you just don't hurt with things that's going to hurt you. You don't.
All right, let's do these birthday shout-outs.
No problem.
We have some birthday shout-outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious December 1st, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, James Font and Robert Woodson, Antonia Gethers, Justin Story, G. Michelle, Crystal Brown, Tanisha Scarvers, Felicia Chantel, Dorothea Zuni Macon, my girl Lisa Williams, Melissa Hearns, Candace Boak, Estefani Bautista, Jennifer Smith, Kevin Jackson, Milton Tide, Myra Jackson. Damn, a lot of people born on the first. Lydia McClurkin, Belvin Jessup, Life of Theo, Peaceful B, MHS, and last but not least, my man Sergio Santana. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all a good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious December 1st, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on and do the damn, rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, man, listen, friendship is important. Relationships are important. But I think friendships span the test of time. But do they always stand the test of the weight that gets thrust upon them sometimes? Sometimes when people see you having a really good friendship with somebody, you know, certain people will step in and run interference. And it could be because they don't want to see you happy, or it could just be that they are hell bent on making sure that they tell their brand of truth, because all messy people swear that they telling the truth. Well, there's also, just like, I'm just going to say, truth is in the eye of the beholder. It's not a fact that anybody really likes, but it's a fact that a lot of people can't change. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. I love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night, Tuesday, going into Wednesday, for another Daily Go Get 'Emism show. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. I hope y'all enjoy listening to the show as much as I enjoy broadcasting it. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all for coming through, and I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. Holla! Peace.